Mira, vamos a tener un fucking good time aquí, ¿ok? Oye, ey, ella quiere que le den, se me explota, ay, si la ven. Solo mía, mami, bebé, lo que quería es los tetetenes. Ey, mami, dale rico, mueve ese totito. Solo me emociona decirte estoy lo cortito. Eres una loca, como me la azota. Sabes que tú sabes, la perrita es deliciosa. Me deja morado cuando me la agarro. Me convierto en perro, baby, te lo hago. Mata como body, she a bad shorty. Una bellaquera me pone la honey. Lo que hace el baby sacate chacho.
I am Rosemary Cespedes, and this is my story. First of all, I love my life, and I want to make sure that everybody knows I will not change it for nothing in the world, and this is why. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, entertainer. I'm an amazing friend. I'm a sister, and I'm a daughter. And those qualities have made who I am now. And now Glam Tender, she's that character that's always gonna be smiling. She's always gonna be happy. She finds happiness. Rosemary Cespedes finds happiness in the Glam Tender. She's the character that has always wanted to be out there and inject happiness. Make sure to let people know that no matter what happens to you in life, there's always light in the end of the tunnel.
Glam Tender, Glam Tender. She is definitely the life of the party. You can't have a real party without Glam Tender. Can I tell the story when I met her? We actually had a photo shoot that day, and we were gonna go home, and I heard she was having a party, and actually the photographer behind the camera invited us to the party. I ran to the store so quick because I was wearing boots, and it turned out she was having a theme party. We were so out of theme, but when we showed up, she treated us like we were her friends for life. Like, nos sentíamos tan a gusto. Seguía preguntándonos, ¿ocupan algo? ¿Quieren agua? ¿Quieren algo de tomar? I felt like I've known her forever, and she made us feel at home. She made us feel at home, and we had the best time. Actually, that night we had too much fun. We slept in the car. And when she found out, she's like, "You could have slept here," but we just met her, and I didn't want to bug her.
So I met Glam back in 2019. We were getting our foot in the door, like as far as like learning about our events, and we were planning our first meet and greet, and it was like the biggest one we've ever had. So she reached out as into wanting to be a sponsor. We had posted that we wanted sponsors for our event. So she reached out and saying that she was new in the industry, and she just wanted to. She offered a one-of-a-kind service, and we didn't even know like what we were doing. So we're like, hey, let's figure it out together. So she came. I remember she's like, what do you expect from me? And I was like, girl, like do whatever you want. Like I trust you. And she came in and she set up, and from like that day, it was in April 20. It's actually in 2018. She came in. I remember she had like her little table back in the day because we didn't we were low budget. She was low budget, so she came in and she sat in like a little corner and like her mangoneadas and her drinks. And ever since then, she became a crucial part to all of our events. So we became as like the Makeup Stops meet and greets, but Glam Tender, like people would come to see Glam Tender specifically. So that's kind of how we both met each other back in 2018.
What was your first impression of Rose?
Oh, she's so full of life. Like she's like, you can throw anything you can at Rosie and she will find a way. She will find a solution. She will make it with a smile, and her one-of-a-kind personality, she's so flamboyant and people love that. And she just makes everybody laugh and smile, which I think is so special to who she really is.
I was born in Yuba City, California, up north in Sacramento. I have 3 siblings. I'm the oldest of 4. And unfortunately, the 4th one is not with us no more. I was just a happy girl. I was a happy little girl. I was a happy 4 or 5-year-old. I had such a big heart. I always loved seeing people happy. I've always been a big pleaser since I was young. I remember people coming to our home and me offering them soda, water, anything possible to make them feel so comfortable. What I remember most about my mom and dad, they had that traditional home where mom stayed home. My mom was a stay-home mom. She cleaned and cooked and make sure we're always looking sharp. And my dad would work in the fields. He was contratista del campo. And I remember too when my mom used to make food for his workers. She was in the kitchen making lunch for his workers, and he'll come in and we're I would help my mom. Well, not help her. I think I won't get on her way, but I just loved being around her. And just to clarify it, he was my stepdad. He had met my mom when she was pregnant of me. She was 3 months pregnant, and that's why I feel such a big connection with him. Cause he was just amazing. I think I'm one of those like needle on a haystack, una aguja en un pajar, right? I'm that lucky little girl that got that perfect stepfather. And I remember him being owners of bars. He had his own bars, and then I remember he had a club as well. But first came the bars, and I was like, I used to see him leave and come back late, and my mom sometimes they kind of had little arguments here and there because of that. But I was like, I want to go with my dad. I want to see what's going on, Because they'll come and I'll see him having like papers, he'll be writing, and that to me was so interesting. I was like, I wonder what he's doing. Well, here comes Curious George. When I walked in, I'm like, what is this? But I wanted to be there with him. He hired drag queens. He had a drag queen show. I just see him walk in, they would say hi to me with so much kind and love and happiness, At first I didn't know. I would just stay quiet, I would stay in my low with my dad and stuff, and then I'll see him on stage and I'll be like, whoa, what's going on? But I see him singing and being happy, and then people were just applauding them and singing with them, and I see him in a happy environment. So I started getting curious. One drag queen that she saw me and she was like, I remember I was opening the door and I just felt like a little tap on my shoulder. And I got scared. She's like, ¿Quieres entrar, mija? I'm like, no, mi papá me va a regañar. Man, entra. Porque ya te he visto que estás viendo. I'm like, okay. And I go in and I sit down and I'll see all the transformation and how happy they were getting into their character and making people happy, and the way they'll talk about what they were going to wear, what colors go with what, how they're going to do their makeup. And it was just an amazing moment for me. And then I would just watch them get on stage. And then when they'll leave, guess what I would have done? I was doing. I would go back and stay. I'd go back to the stage, go to the little room, cuartito. And comenzaba a agarrar las cosas. Y me cambiaba. I would change. I would get the stuff and I would change. I would transform myself. I wanted to feel their happiness. And that's what I did. And I would get on stage with the boas and I would dance and I would do stuff. And I was so happy, and I pretend there was people. And it's funny now how I relate myself so much to that world, even though I know I'm not a drag, I'm not nothing closer, but just to understand the difference between reality and the pain, and how you can convert yourself to this character and still be happy. It taught me a lot. Relationship with my mom when I was young, it was amazing. I felt like she had the perfect home. Her staying home, taking care of her daughters, her husband working, coming home, had a nice lavish life. So she made it very, very, very happy for us. But unfortunately, happiness doesn't last forever. You guys know that, right? There was a family problem and we got taken away. I really never asked my mother why, and I really don't understand why I didn't. But I feel that whatever happened between them affected us for life. My mom started drinking, and I remember one night I feel like it was really hard for my mom to deal with her life changing emotionally, mentally. And unfortunately, that anger that night, she took it out on me. I'm not justifying my mom's actions, but I can tell you that I can just imagine how she was feeling, you know, like lost. I don't know, like, but unfortunately, people handle their situations differently, and it happened. She put hands on me. What I know, because this is what they told me, this is what I heard in court as well, that she ran back to the house trying to knock on the door for my mom to open, and my mom wouldn't open. And I don't remember how she got in, but I know she called the police. I remember the police getting there, and I remember them cleaning me up. I'm not going to say so much details because it does hurt me, but I just want to say that she hit me where I lost my front teeth. And but then when I woke up in the morning, I wasn't with my nana. I was with my sister. I woke up and I looked around. It was somebody in another house. It was strange. And I just remember my sister, and I saw her. She was sleeping by me. It was so confusing for me. I remember it took a while for my dad to come to see us. I'm guessing there was he had to go through a lot of, I don't know, permission or stuff to see us because I wasn't his legal daughter. And I remember with that, I don't know how long it took but he came, and as soon as we saw him, I was so happy. I thought I was gonna go home. And my little sister was always scared, you know, she was like so scared. She felt safe with me. And I don't know how a 6-year-old can understand or see how you need to be strong for another little person, you know? I was her safe place. And so I had to put up this front that I was not scared, that everything was gonna be okay. So when my dad came to see us, I guess I was already understanding the situation. He went to go see us, and he asked the lady if he can take us, and because he had permission from the courts to take us. And I guess he didn't see the papers, and it said he just was able to take my sister Letty. And he's like, no, both of them are my daughters. And she was like, no, it says right here legally your daughter is Leticia, and Rosa Maria, she is your stepdaughter. So the court didn't give you permission to take her, because he was able to come pick her up and take her for the weekend and bring her back. And they didn't give him the rights to do that with me. And I do remember that I was at the door of my room, the bedroom we were sleeping in, and he wasn't like in front of the door. And he told the lady, he told the lady, señora, las dos son mis hijas. Y si no me puedo llevar las dos, no me llevo ninguna. Voy a regresar con un papel diciéndole que yo puedo llevarme me puedo llevar las dos de mis hijas. He actually did that. He actually went to the courts and he got permission. He got permission to take both of us on the weekend and bring us back on Sunday. When I'm telling you I had an amazing stepfather, he made sure I felt loved. He never made me feel like I wasn't his blood daughter. Never. So days, I don't know how it passed and stuff, and one day we were sleeping. It was nighttime, and I heard the door open, and I felt this heavy shadow between our beds. And I was kind of scared to turn around. But I'm like, no, I have to, like, I need who's here. And when I turned around, I see this man looking over my sister. And I got the courage, and I took up the blankets, and I sat on the edge of the bed, and I told him, what are you doing? Leave her alone. He was touching my sister's leg. My sister was only 3 years old. I was 6. And I told him to leave her alone. And he just looked at me. And he came to me. He knelt down and he looked at me and he said, okay, I'll leave her alone. But you're going to do, and you're not going to say nothing. Because if you do, I'm going to hurt your sister. So he did what he had to do. He just told me not to look at him. And that's when my whole life changed again. But as long as my sister was okay, that's what mattered. As long as he didn't hurt her, that's what mattered.